Hello folks, how you doing? How's everything in there? Right, so we're gonna tell you about everything about this. Let me tell you about back in the day. Back in the day, the internet was slow as hell. So most likely we didn't have any like YouTube back in the days. That came out a little bit later, and so much things about that. And then when the first Mario Kart came out, yeah, the internet was so slow as hell, and you have to go like that. So is it back in the day about everything, right? So this is Michael Jackson checking out the internet, and back in his day, back in the day. I mean, back in the day, he was just like he was like saying, he's saying, I'm gonna some. And then he's just grabbing the balls front of the computer. He goes, until things come out what he's looking for, or some info what he's looking for, right? And then they have some other websites with videos and something like that, before YouTube or everything like that. Nobody had made money out of that, the .com era and all that stuff for the bubble where it is, right? Back in the day, I remember back in the day when O.J. Simpson, man, I was like, I'm just saying that I'm gonna put my boombox in there, do. Okay, I'm waiting for it, do. And then he freaking, what? Look, what is it? Look, he's chasing it out. That was back in the day. Back in the day when everything was so slow. All right. So back in the day, let me tell you, back in the day. Back in the day, everybody went to the movie theaters. All right. I mean, they all went to the movie theaters as, hey, hooray! And back in the day, like the only thing you have to worry about back in the day, it wasn't the only type of thing that you had to worry about was some Corona beer in your car. And the police said, okay, you have a couple of Coronas. Yeah, Corona beer before the virus has been known. All right, so that was just back in the day. Back in the day, things were like, And then I was just saying, the net, this is awesome. This is so awesome. Until like DSL, or what we have right now is awesome. Cable and all this stuff, and then how was chatting? How was things back in the day? I don't know what's in the what. Things back in the day was just kind of like different. Blockbuster video and all that stuff. Yeah, I remember watching going to the block or going to the video store, and they like, was it like, what the heck, some bubblegum culture or something like that, bubble pop. I mean, things are so differently back in the day, Pokemon was trading cards, and I used to watch a lot of anime, right? But back in the day, I remember those things they call chat rooms, right? Do you remember Yahoo Chat or Yahoo Messenger and all that stuff? That was one thing. That was the thing back in those days, man. Like back in those days, it's like saying, man, what a time. What a time it is back in the days, back in the 90s, and like things are taking so slow as hell. I mean, I mean that what it is, just saying things like this, and I saying, I was in these Yahoo chat rooms, and then about half of was in those Yahoo chat rooms. It was cool. It was back in the day, and they said, "Oh, where you from? Whatever." Blah, blah, blah. And I have been on online relationships. I haven't have a actual relationship or anything like that. It was me. Even though I went to school and I tried to get into things like that, website administrator or whatever it is, before this YouTube thing came along. So, as back in the day, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm checking out like on these. I really like to go to Japan one day or something like that, but it was so into watching anime, staying up late watching anime. The TVs were fat. Yes, the TVs were fat, and I'm saying that I didn't have this nice Bravia back in the day because they didn't exist until later on. So this is what I got in my room on my 27-inch RCA TV I had back in the day. So I have watched some Gundam Wing, and and then as a kid, I remember those. I remember like watching these, waking up watching the anime and try to remember the words and something like that. But in a way, in this more so like in this cultural sense, I mean that was like, yes, I wish I want to go in that country one day. I wish I would. So let me tell you about it. I have been in some damn relationships online on Yahoo Chat and having the Yahoo Messenger, and I have known some people from just different parts of the world. And that's just like ambition. Oh yeah, one day I might let us say one day this dude's gonna marry a Japanese girl someday or something like that. That was just one thing out of that. One time, and there was his Asian flower or something like that. And then I try to say, hey, dumb crap out of nowhere, and then there is some other dude, right? This dude came out, and then I think I was messing around. This dude just came out and says, come there. Yeah, he was just this guy. People, you never know back then when people were disguising themselves as chicks or something like that. Then guess what? The dude just say, ha ha, fool ya, when I'm gonna be ya. There are these type of people you find right there. They appear to be real, and they use these pictures of some models and saying, oh yeah, like this guy, like I never know back then, but back then this guy tried to screw me over some makeup make-believe character. They find nobody, and you're wasting your damn time, right? You're wasting your damn time so stupidly. Now it's like, yeah, everybody's faking out, Just remember then. And remember that auto suddenly Slim Shady. Remember that song, Slim Shady? I put it Slim Shady is the official theme song for people who fake themselves on the internet. Like, is the real Slim Shady? Please stand up. And we all have a Slim Shady of all of us, right? So that's just point blank it is. I'm gonna say I'm also a Slim Shady, right? It says, I'm Slim Shady, I'm the real Slim Shady. Are you Slim Shady? Please stop. Is the real Slim Shady? Please stand up. Whoop! I'm standing up. So that's how things were back then, right? Back then you don't know, but that's what things are right now. Like, Slim Shady is this official theme for people who just invent or come up with fake IDs. I don't know, like you ever have tried, and there's somebody else who is faking a profile, who is starting with this name called Eminem, Kenya Marshall Matters, or Eminem, or Slim Shady, right? On Facebook nowadays. Back then, we didn't have that crap. All they have is High Five. MySpace was popular back in the day. MySpace was popular, and then you have like this internet chick. I mean, talking about Asian women, or what I'm saying about this, there is this personality. I don't know what she has doing right now. Her name was Tila Tequila. I remember her on MySpace. She was very popular. All the guys, I even was drooling about her. You know, it was like, wow, she is hot. And then like everybody, even me, everybody was spanking the monkey over her. All right, you know, I mean, saying everybody was spanking the monkey over her, and then she was until like what? Where is she? She's gone. So then as like what whatever the reason they're what they're doing in your damn life, and you're like during the early days on the internet, man. Yeah, I mean back in the day, and it's like what else is coming on that things were that, you know. That, I mean, there is just one thing about back in the day, and talking about back in the day, there was this thing that, and was in, okay, the Super Bowl back in the day. The Super Bowl back in the day was totally different, right? I might be saying that I'm seeing the best performances of the Super Bowl was Michael Jackson halftime show. I remember the halftime show, right? Michael Jackson's halftime. I see it in the YouTube, right? So back in the day, things were different, you know. Almost like suddenly that you have, you know, I was like into video games, but everything was slow as hell, and I mean the internet was slow as hell. But you know, back in the day, how things are, man. Like I was just going crazy. You know, this is way before all this crap happened. I mean, most of suddenly that I have seen when my sister, I was hanging out with my sister, says there's this cop passing by and like, you know, just give us the ticket, just give us the damn ticket. I was saying that was back in the day, man. I mean, talking about all these things going on. Oh man, I just remember those days, man. Like, hey man, you know, you know, there's no saying eBay. Sears stores were everywhere, man. Kmart was big back in the day. Damn, that was something, I might just say. So, what would be how things are back in the day? You know, online relationships was just in your damn computer, typing crap, going to Yahoo chat. I remember the Yahoo chat, Yahoo Messenger, Yahoo chat rooms, right? And I have freaking met people that I know that on Facebook. One of them is married. You know, I haven't talked to her for a long time, you know, and then all of a sudden, wow, it's kind of surprising how things change back in the day, you know. You know, things are changing back in the day, and then, you know, people not just from one part of one specific country, but from all over the world. Like, yeah, that chick that I talked to her, she was from Vietnam, and she's married and she has a kid, and yeah, and then I mean, this is so kind of strange, or kind of, you know, how things change and how ridiculous, or saying people going on these chat rooms and coming from certain countries, like from, and they say, and they're talking all their gibberish and all their garbage and all that stuff. Says with saying like from the World Cup to everything that that of fighting over a damn piece of land, over 2 damn rocks, or some stuff like that, which is just freaking ridiculous, man. And I'm just blowing up shenanigans and stuff, I'm just saying that I have ever met people online, and yeah, is all is an illusion, man. Like, it's like it never happened for me. I mean, this is going back to these days and going back to how things were. It was so differently, way back in the days we was telegram, like somebody going tick 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 tick, hello, tick, 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 nice to meet you, tick, tick. Where you from? And then how the heck are they gonna do with that crap on the phone? When the phone came out, I mean, what's the difference? Don't call me anymore. Boom, hang up. Oh, whatever it is, things were. I don't know how things way back has been there. I wasn't even born yet. All of suddenly, I mean, things like that. Am I just saying I have started this back in 06 when I had some channels back then. Universalman002, because that's my name on my Yahoo chat. Universalman 2001, I think I believe I would be called, right? Yes, that's Yahoo. And then after all, suddenly the Embargoman channel, this channel that I have right now, is just going on, and this is where I get YouTube still in this going, subscribing new YouTubers. And when I find out some of these YouTubers have been very successful, others just throw in the towel. I mean, most likely the one that have been throwing out the towel, so much that, I mean, this is freaking ridiculous, is this guy who has masked. I mean, his name was Chinese Lies Exposed, right? Like, if he has done his channel, he will tell about this crap that we are going on right now, and says, oh, yeah, gone. Another one that he has thrown the towel, Drinking with Bob. Oh my gosh, I remember Drinking with Bob, man. Drinking with Bob. And his thing says, what's next? What's next? What's next? So, what's happened with Drinking with Bob? I mean, Drinking with Bob should have been there during this time. Say, what's next? What's next? What's next? Man. And then I freaking love Drinking with Bob, man. Like, some of his videos are funny, and then they are so funny that it goes something with, Drinking with Bob, So, I don't know what happened with him, but probably threw the towel or something like that. I mean, and there's other YouTubers that I follow through. Some of them, like, I remember the No Bullshit guy. Nowadays, it says, welcome back to No Bullshit. Alright, he has done, I don't know his name, but he has done some stuff, political crap, political BS. And then there's a bunch of YouTubers that are going through political BS, alright? I mean, there's things that are right in somehow, some ways, and there's things that, I say that I could disagree with, An example of other YouTubers that throw in the towel. other YouTuber, I didn't throw the towel. I'm still here standing, getting some subscriptions. But you know, other YouTubers that are throwing the towel is like maybe I remember one that is called Mylog. I mean, she is absolutely gorgeous too. Well, you know, she lives in Japan, and suddenly she gave up. She threw in the towel and killed her channel, right? Like she's going everywhere and she killed her channel, right? This is kind of odd. Like so somebody getting a YouTube channel and then they give up and threw the towel. Yeah, I mean, just threw the towel. And there's some other YouTubers that are like, you know, absolutely starting right there, like saying Hopper Food, Melissa Feaster. She didn't make any videos. Her channel's still there, and what the hell? and then I like her videos. As I'm kind of funny in there. What is so in there, and why I am here on YouTube, because you know what? I didn't give up the fight. I ain't still not giving up the fight, because I'm still, since the day one back in 06 through now, I am just struggling with subscribers, because I knew about this. There is other. So where is the fat Aussie bastard? I know this guy, right? Did he kill his channel? Did he throw in the towel? I think he threw the towel before. I think he really threw the towel. YouTubers that throw away the towel and then they don't want to do this complaining about YouTube anymore or whatever, you know. Wherever they live in their respective countries or states or whatever. So what's next? It's so funny that this medium right there. I mean, I mean, I wasn't into, what am I say? PewDiePie is the most subscribed YouTuber. I mean, even though if China didn't prohibit YouTube, then there is some vlogger out there that might just make PewDiePie look like a freaking little bug, or number two, maybe worse than the other like channel that is coming from India. He's gonna come into number 3 or something, whatever. The third, or probably PewDiePie will go, you turd. Well, that's being number 3 if YouTube was allowed in China. So I mean, seriously, these YouTubers are now like, some of them have give up, some of them have succeeded, and then there's new ones that out succeeding me, that out surpassing me on subscribers. It is kind of crazy. And probably this girl who has a pet snake living on a Chevy van. Like living on a Chevy van, like is like, what in the world is this? Or like this chick who lives on a Chevy van, pacing me with subscribers. They're like, yeah, I'm Chevy riding high, boosting up. You know what the heck when they do? Why did this living on a Chevy van? You know, they want to put turbo boost on the Chevy van, girl. You better freaking put some turbo boost on that Chevy van. Damn, I mean, that is kind of like ridiculous for me, and I would say I mean, this chick who's having a bunch of subscribers, living with a pet snake inside a Chevy van. I didn't even see a bunch of her videos, but it seems interesting. But there's like some other, apparently she copy of other people living inside vans. I mean, what's in the world it is. One person that I think, there's people that went from this going freaking political in this stuff. In one channel that I have seen is this cool Japanese chick. She was married. I mean, she is married right now. I mean, even though why I have the Random Mick channel, Random Yoko. I remember her. She has a couple of channels. Her main channel is, you know, like all fan of this other YouTuber and rocker girl or something like that, and living in a town in Fukuoka, right? So now she's going political, and she has another channel. So what is this? And going to another channel, her own channel, you see, and you know how things go on. This is just the same, like, no bullshit guy, you know. I mean, things are going insane. Like, she's not like the drinking with Bob, you know. I mean, because I remember drinking with Bob says, what's next? What's next? What's next? Yeah, drinking with Bob, man. Drinking with Bob, I think it was awesome. So, like, things like the Young Turks and all that stuff. You know, I mean, seriously, man. Like, I'm saying, there's a bunch of these YouTubers who have ever made it big. I was looking forward to it. I even read a book about one YouTuber who is in the same right now, who started around the same time. That is so ridiculous. There are a bunch, like, how is a bunch of pages from a phone book. I mean, from a phone bill. I mean, I know she was very right about this, having the first generation iPhone and stuff. I mean, she's very beautiful, and I have about liking her. I haven't even had a crush with her. I didn't even read her book, right? So the thing with this phone, with this whole pages of a phone bill from the first generation iPhone is kind of like so damn funny, right? I mean, at least she was living in Pittsburgh or something. Like, now she lives in LA, and I'm in here stuck in Miami. You know, I don't have any. Why? Because she is beautiful, she is sexy, and all that. You know, guys are drooling her. Even I, you know, that is kind of like making those videos, and she is very, you know, very energetic person, or maybe she's kind of like, you know, just pretty. And yeah, I'm one of her subscribers though. Yeah, she's also have outpaced me, even though we are both doing YouTube at the same time. The same time, I had like, I don't know how many I would go. Please, I want to reach 1,000. But like back in the day when they start monetizing, you didn't have a bunch of subscribers, but you need to, like, you know, like, monetize my videos. I did that. I did this because I wanted to reach that time. Ambitions were different back then, or for me, just later on in later years, right? So here we go. The thing that I always talking about, TV back in the days was totally different, you know. I remember when TVs were fat. Where TVs were fat, you know, you're like you, all you see in the commercials, so two dogs washing the TV and whatever it is, you know. It was so cool, man. It was so cool. And then you have like Picard in the background, you know, telling about the RCA TVs, and, you know, Captain Picard, the guy who played Captain Picard, right? So that is so amazing with these things. But then just going to back in the day, man. Damn, it says now you. I'm just not so saying about that. The Geico commercials were different, you know, everything was totally different. Shoot, and then I was seeing South Park back in the day, you know. The Simpsons back in the day was awesome. The Simpsons, you know, before they was, you know, they don't have like Bart Simpson never grew up, or Lisa Simpson never grew up, you know. I mean, I'm just seeing The Simpsons back then. It was back in the 90s. It was, you know, totally different, you know. That isn't still running in there, and Bart and Lisa Simpson never grew up. What kind of ridiculous thing is that? What I might say, huh? Like Bart should get married, or Lisa should get married, or whatever, you know. You know, that's kind of odd in one sense or another. Put it this way, that and then talking about TV shows, my interest was America's Got Talent. I mean, America's Got Talent? Damn, I'm just saying, I want to just go to America's Got Talent one day. That's why I'm just seeing my videos. I'm taking lessons of learning how to dance tango, because I know my ambition was to dancing with the same chick who outpaced me for over the same time period that I was starting my YouTube channel. Yeah, I mean, David dances with Goliath, I might say. You know, I'm the David in YouTube, and she's just a pretty Goliath. And you know, talk about tech crap and new gizmos and toys and now food. Ain't that crazy? But now with this thing, I mean, Corona, what the heck? Corona, screw you. You ain't going to America's Got Talent. That's kind of crazy. But then, I mean, I'm just saying, back then, I'm just saying that just back in the day, there wasn't that kind of stuff. There was Star Search. Yes, there were Star Search. I remember Star Search. Freaking Mickey Mouse Club. MTV was the YouTube back then with the music videos, right? I mean, everything kind of like saying change, you know. I mean, like the song "Video Killed the Radio Star," like, you know, like YouTube killed MTV, you know, like saying, "Oh, I'm MTV," like this is the Western. Okay, right now in the West, we have two juggernauts in media: MTV and YouTube. And here goes the thing. MTV, YouTube. What happened with YouTube? They pull out the guns. Boom. MTV is dead. That's what happened with MTV against YouTube in a gunfight. That's what happened. But back in the day, it was totally different. YouTube was rocking until MTV was rocking back in the day. MTV was rocking until YouTube came out with their guns and shoot down MTV. They shot down MTV. Boom, boom. Like pew pew. MTV gunned down. Like an old Western movie, right? You know. Yeah. That's how it goes. So that's about the thing about all this with coming around there, you know. And this ambition of back in the day, man. Back in the day, it's like, man, I just miss those days. I'm just miss hanging out. I'm just miss something. Wow, what a difference, blockbuster video. Damn, I'm just now with this, and then we haven't we have to be worried about Corona the virus. We have to be worried about if you have enough Corona the beer. Get it? Corona the beer. You know, like you, like. Like what is this? You know, back in the day, it was like it's like how many like you have brought some Corona the beer, or like back in the days, cops will stop off. Okay, they found Corona, but was Corona the beer? All right, you know, I mean. Now it's like stay in our house, let's chill at our homes because of Corona the virus, right? Now it's like from Corona the beer to Corona the virus. This is kind of ridiculous times that we have lived in. Corona is the new AIDS. You know, like orange is the new black, Corona is the new AIDS. Now, like this is kind of ridiculous about with Corona the beer at first, but you know, Corona the virus, you know, and then they're talking about the AIDS candy effect. I remember like back in the day when MTV was shining, when MTV was a little baby. And you know, there was this candy called AIDS, AIDS, AIDS. When AIDS, the virus came along, AIDS, the candy, has suffered the same symptoms, right? You know, nobody's buying AIDS candy because they get AIDS, and that company that makes the AIDS candy went out of business, man. Like, so. That has happened almost 39 years, 40 years ago, 40 years later. Corona the beer is the new AIDS candy. You know, it's like nobody's gonna buy, almost nobody is buying Corona the beer. And then what happened with Corona the beer is because of blame it on Corona the virus. Alright? So like says beer or the virus. Back then they're like, okay, let's buy a couple of Coronas. I remember the movie Fast and the Furious. Corona. Oh, like Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's character Vendetta says we only bought a Corona, and that's it, Corona. And then there's a reason why Vin Diesel could celebrate St. Patrick's Day this year because of Corona. Corona the beer, I mean, Corona the beer. You know, like they brought a Mexican to in an Irish holiday now. You know, they brought a Mexican in an Irish holiday. All right, Corona the beer. You know, and then tell me about one thing about things about all things going through. I remember back then, but you know, I know that the Toys R Us and where I filmed the location with my phone, it is now a Cheapos Depots. But you know, translated in all of suddenly, Toys R Us in the United States went out of business recently. But now there's just a few stores like in New Jersey and probably Texas. You know, I mean, what happened with Toys R Us? Nobody's in the heard about KB Toys, but you know, I mean, there's this. I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys and Toys R Us that I could play with. You know, I mean. That jingle and that smart marketing over a toy store is like now let's just put it this. I am doing Google Translate. Google Translate. I mean, I'm doing Google Translate and I'm using the phone. Then now it says now it is because I'm learning Japanese and using Duolingo, and then I know it says right there, it says, oh crap, and it says right here, this thing with this, it says, Onata wa nikura watachi watasaro Toys R Us Kiro. I don't want to go rub on a Toys R Us in Japanese because because Toys R Us, there's no Toys R Us in the United States anymore. So what's the difference if you hear that? Because now Toys R Us is just a different division. That's kind of sucks for Toys R Us. So Emma just says, "I'm the milkman." where's the milkman doing? And like there's a bunch of crazy stuff in Japan that is crazier than here. The Pepsi Man and whatever it is, like look like a freaking Power Ranger. Oh my god, it's like I would say one thing for sure that they're saying, what would this mascot, which says Mario, put it Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog. It's Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog, and it says, "It's me, Mario," and it says, "Hey, I am Sonic." And then what the heck? If what else would Sonic would do? And it says, "Hey, how you gonna race?" And Sonic goes, "Yes, I'm gonna race you." Sonic was racing, and then like what else with Mario is, a rocket pack back in there, like, "Yoo, it's me, Mario." And Sonic goes, "What? You beat me? I got rocket pack." Whoa, rocket pack, but that's kind of funny. You're like, it's kind of like what Maya say. Now here we go with how it is of things if you are working in another country. If we're working in another country, I know, like back in the days with Pepsi and Coke, this guy was, let's say if things were like that in Japan. Example of some guy saying, of course, if things here were like in Japan, like let's say work ethic, because some guy told me about, like, in Japan you gotta be loyal to the company and purchase their own product. It says this guy's when there is a Pepsi guy, so he's trying to, yeah, I'm gonna drink a Coke. And then they're like he's drinking Coke. He's driving a Pepsi truck and drinking Coke. All right. It says, and then this guy boss says, "You know what? What you drinking? You were drinking a Pepsi? You know what? You're damn fired. What you drinking? What you drinking? You're drinking a Coke? You know what? You're damn fired. You work for Pepsi. You drink a Pepsi. You don't drink a Coke. You drink a Pepsi. Wait, you work for Pepsi." And the guy got fired because he drank a Coke working for Pepsi. That's how things are in Japan if you work for the competitor. This is how it is. It's like, then another guy, he was driving he's working for Coke, right? And then the guy was drinking a Pepsi. Oh man, I'm only gonna get a Pepsi, man. We're refreshing Pepsi Cola, and then the guy who works for Coke, the boss would says, you know what? You are drinking a Pepsi, right? Yes, I'm just wanting a Pepsi. Oh, you know what? You're fired. You're fired, man, because you work for Coke, you drink Coke. If you drink a Pepsi, you're gonna get your ass fired, and you had to look for another job or go work for Pepsi. So, it's like that's how things run in Japan. Working for a company, and you're drinking the competitor's product, right? So this is kind of ridiculous, and yeah, and that's a wrap with things. A wrap with things is that a guy saying, you know what? I'm just gonna say a couple of police guys and a policeman who's just driving. He was driving there, and then he is confronted. There were like just a delivery man already delivering packages. He just came out of an arcade back then. They're like the arcade, right? Like the arcade. He was playing Ninja Turtles. After he was playing Ninja Turtles, back then brand new or not yet brand new. Like he's already playing Ninja Turtles, and then like he already put some coins on Street Fighter, and he was playing Ninja Turtles, right? So the delivery man, just out of his break, found around with a policeman, and the delivery man said to the policeman, "Hey, Mr. Policeman, why you always dressed up in blue?" And then the policeman says, "Okay, that's what you asking me for? Hey, Mr. Delivery Man, why you always dressed up in the color of shit?" Yeah, it's like why it's like the policeman told the delivery man why he always dressed up in the color of shit, and then this is kind of funny what it is. This is what the UPS is. UPS wears brown and shit is brown. That's gotta kind of make the difference. The conversation between the policeman and the delivery man. And he asking the delivery man asked the policeman why he dressed up in blue, and the policeman tell the delivery man why he dressed up in the color of shit. That's what it is, man. And then what it is. So let me guess what other things to say. That way you're saying to say what this kid wants. What this kid wants is this. It says, Mommy, I want a Super Nintendo or Daddy, or I want a Sega Genesis, right? It was back then because, the little kid wanted either a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis. And it says, can you get me a Sega Genesis? Can you get me a Super Nintendo? And then, you know what they end up buying? The parents end up buying a Tiger handheld and says, "Why don't you get me a Tiger handheld?" Sorry, kid, we are broke. We have no money. We're broke. We don't have enough money to buy a Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo. All we got you is a Tiger handheld. And then the kid they get the kid a Tiger handheld, right? So that was back in the day, man. So things were different. So now we were going to all of this. Do you remember the Backstreet Boys? I wanted that. What if the Backstreet Boys was doing a commercial for Burger King? What if they're doing a commercial for Burger King? It says, "I'm sick and tired of this clown. I want that special menu. I want it my way. What I want a Whopper. What I always wanted a Burger King. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of that phony clown. I want it my way. And it's like saying Backstreet Boys doing an advertisement for Burger King, and it says, it said, I want better burgers. I want it my way. So BK, so I want it my way. Yeah, Burger King, Backstreet Boys, Burger King. It is Burger King. Why I want it? Because I want it my way. Okay, folks, and for it. Please subscribe to the Embargo Man channel, and write me some comments. And please don't forget to hit the bell button. So see you in the next channel. In the next video. So I'm doing this. I hope you enjoyed my video, because I know there is one honorable mentions of YouTubers. Kayla. I'm gonna see her channel, and then that's like somebody who is not from Japan, living in Japan. Like I think I'm going to that route too, but or before this Corona stuff is over. And yeah, and there's another Yoko who is Yoko Maria. Please subscribe to her. Some Dutch chick named Ivana. Please subscribe to her. And let me tell you what. Write me a comment. Suggestions. Write me any comments. What you think that my video is kind of funny, right? So see you in the next vid, and stay tuned for the next video coming soon to the Embargo Man channel. Goodbye, everybody.